You aren't a hero for being burnout. You're just a person who has forgotten how to trust themselves. You think if you stop, everything will fall apart. But that isn't strength, it's a lack of self trust. It's 11 p.m. You're physically exhausted, but you're still checking your email or tidying a kitchen no one else is going to see. There is a weight, a quiet fear that many of us carry. It doesn't scream, it whispers. If I stop, everything will fall apart. If I don't hold this together, who will? If I let go, I'll fail them. We tell ourselves we are the load bearing wall of our families, our businesses, our lives. But the hardest part to admit is you're not just afraid of failing others. You're afraid of failing yourself. Because somewhere along the way, you learned that you should be able to handle it all. You should be stronger. You should be better. You shouldn't feel like this. So you keep going, carrying everything, managing everything. But let me show you what's really happening. This isn't a busy schedule. This is a security guard duty. You are living in a state of constant self-surveillance, watching your every move, judging your performance as a mom, auditioning your day before it's even finished. You've become your own 24/7 security guard. And now you're exhausted from the watching. You aren't overwhelmed because of your to-do list. You're overwhelmed because you believe your tension is the only thing keeping your world together. But control is not your strength. It's your fear trying to feel safe. Today we're talking about self-trust. Not the kind you get from a confidence hack, but the kind that changes everything the moment you realize you don't actually have to control the world to be safe in it. I know this feeling intimately. Even when I was married, I carried most of the responsibilities, 90% of it. If I'm honest, after the divorce, it became almost everything. It was the one I was the one holding the kids, the home, the decisions, the emotional weight of it all. I didn't question it. I just thought that is what I have to do, because if I didn't, everything would fall apart. The kids wouldn't be okay, life wouldn't run properly, I wouldn't be a good mother. And underneath all of that was a quiet fear. If I stop, I'll fail them. And the more I held, the heavier it got. Then COVID happened, and suddenly there was no separation. Work, home, school, everything in the same space. No breathing room. I remember this not as a dramatic breakdown, but as something much quieter. A silent collapse. Moments where I felt depleted, that I just wanted to lie on the floor and let the world spin without me. Not fix anything, not think, not plan, just stop. I wasn't just tired, I was disappearing. At that time, I was terrified. I thought if I stopped, I would fail my kids, I would fail myself. I remember thinking I should be better than this. But here is what changed everything. I finally stopped trying to hold the walls up, and nothing collapsed. Life kept going. My kids were okay. We found a different rhythm, a more human rhythm. Everything I thought would break didn't. The only thing that broke was the illusion that my tension was necessary for our survival. That was the moment I saw it clearly. This control everything way isn't working. Not because I wasn't strong enough, but because I was trying to hold everything from a place of fear, not trust. And here's what I didn't do. I didn't fix my life overnight. I didn't suddenly change everything around me. But I did something much simpler. I started coming back to myself. For me, that meant one thing: getting my grounding back. Coming back to what I now call my home base. That place inside of you where you feel safe, steady, okay, no matter what is happening around you. Self-trust is the knowing that you are safe no matter what the storms looks like outside. It's knowing that you don't need to be a perfect mother. You just need to be an aligned one. When you act from grounding, you are not reacting to chaos. You are leading from yourself, not because life is perfect, but because you are no longer lost inside of it. And when I started coming back to that place, something shifted. The urgency slowed down, the tension softened, the constant need to control everything started to loosen. Not because I forced it, but because I didn't need it in the same way anymore. And that's when the permission started. Not permission from someone else, permission from me. To pause, to breathe, to not do everything. And the most surprising part, the guilt started to disappear. The shame, the fear of failing, it just wasn't as loud anymore. It stopped defining me. And when I stopped controlling everything and nothing fell apart, everything changed. That's when I understood something I didn't see before. Control was never my strength. It was my fear trying to feel safe. When you don't trust yourself, you try to control everything, the situation, the people, the outcomes. But when you begin to trust yourself, you don't need to grip life so tightly anymore. Self-trust is not the belief that nothing will go wrong. It's the knowing I will be okay, even if it does. I can respond. I can handle it. I won't lose myself. Let me show you how this actually plays out in real life. You walk into the kitchen and see a mess. The old control voice says you have to clean it now or you're failing. The self-trust voice says, this can wait. I can sit with my kids first. Or you realize you didn't finish something perfectly at work. The old voice says everything will fall apart. The self-trust voice says, I can handle feedback. My worth isn't tied to this moment. Or your child is having a meltdown. The control voice tries to fix it so you can feel better. The self-trust voice says, I can stay here. I can hold this without losing myself. Just notice which voice is leading your life most of the time. I see this clearly in the women I work with. I remember one conversation that stayed with me. A woman was describing a relationship she knew wasn't right for her. She knew something was off. And I asked her one question. What is your core belief about yourself? Is there self-trust there? She froze. And that silence said everything. When we don't trust ourselves, when we don't believe we are enough exactly as we are, we turn to control. We try to manage everything, predict everything, hold everything together. We think control is safety, but control is a grip. And the tighter you grip, the less you can actually feel. This is what's underneath so many things. Overgiving, overcontrolling, overthinking, choosing the wrong relationships. It's not a lack of intelligence. It's not a lack of awareness. It's a lack of self-trust. Because when you don't trust yourself, you build safety outside of you. But when you trust yourself, you don't need to control life. You can meet it. Your resilience is not something you have to build through more discipline. It's already there. It's your home base. I spent years in self-surveillance, constantly watching myself, judging myself, trying to get everything right. But that's not living, that's guarding. And the moment I allowed myself to relax, to stop performing, to just be, everything shifted. The guilt didn't have anything to hold on to anymore. It just fell away. And today my life is not perfect. Things still happen, challenges are still here. But something is very, very different. I don't feel like everything depends on me in the same way. I don't feel like I have to carry it all because I know where to come back to. And from that place, everything feels lighter, clearer, more honest. So just think, where in your life are you still holding everything together? Where are you trying to be the load-bearing wall for people who actually need to see you be human? Where are you gripping not because you want to, but because you're afraid of what happens if you don't? And what would it feel like to come back to yourself first before trying to fix everything else? Today, choose one thing to let go of on purpose. Let the laundry wait. Leave the non-urgent email for tomorrow. Before you try to fix the world, come back to your home base. Feel your feet on the floor. Take one breath that reaches your belly. Stop surveying yourself. Start expressing yourself. Permission doesn't come from everything being perfect. It comes from you deciding you are allowed to feel at peace, even when things are messy. Your life isn't asking you to hold it together better. It's asking you to come back to yourself. Because the moment you do, you realize something powerful. Nothing was ever held together by your tension. And even if something does fall apart, you will know how to rebuild it. Because you finally trust the architect. You are not here to hold it together. You're here to live it. Welcome home.